Hey, it's me, SB. Welcome back. I'm so glad that you are back. So today we are going to be making a little poof sunflower. That's what I'm calling it because it is a little poofy and a little squishy and it's fun. And a good way to make it even bigger is just to use a double-stranded yarn, like hold two worsted weight yarns together and it'll make it bigger, and you can make it like into a pillow or something. Man, the possibilities are infinite. So let's go ahead and get to it. Okay, so let's move on to the materials. So the items that you're going to need to complete this project are, of course, some stitch markers. Just one, really, but I prefer to use some crochet thread in a contrasting color or just yarn. Or you can use a regular locking stitch marker. For the small one, I used a C2 or a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook, keeping in mind that if you're using a different weight, you are always going to go 2 or 3 sizes smaller than what is recommended on the yarn label. For the large one, which is the one I'm going to be making for you, I am going to be using a G hook. I don't remember the millimeter size, so I'll just put it up here. You're also going to need your tapestry needles and, of course, some scissors and a little bit of time. So we are going to start out with our brown color. So we are going to start out with a magic circle. And we are going to chain 1. And we're going to place 8 single crochets into our magic circle. And 8. So now we're going to close our center ring here, and you're just going to close it the way you normally would if you're using a different method. Okay, so for our next round we are going to work in spirals. Alright, so let's go ahead and start working our increases, and don't forget to mark your first stitch. So now we're going to increase every single stitch for a total of 16 single crochets. And there we go. That is the second round done. On to the third round. 1 single crochet and increase. So 1 single crochet into the next stitch and increase into that next stitch. And that's going to be the repeat pattern all the way around. So 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next stitch, all the way around for a total of 24 single crochets. And on this round, we are also going to go ahead and switch to our lighter brown. Okay, so I am about to work my second single crochet into my 1 stitch, and I am just going to leave it unworked, so I'm not going to finish it. And don't cut off your brown yarn because we are going to be utilizing that here in a minute, here after a bit. Okay, so now we have our other color. So usually I just hook it onto my hook and pull through, and I don't use a slip knot or anything. You are more than welcome to do that. I just feel like it just adds unnecessary knots everywhere. So now for the next 2 rounds, once you get your new color attached, or you just continue on with brown, we are going to just simply single crochet all the way around. And on the last stitch of the second round with your contrasting color, you are going to switch back to the dark brown color, and we are going to start doing decreases so we can create like a little button type thing, a little disc. Okay, so this is my last stitch. So we're going to do it exactly the same way, except this time we are just going to bring up our brown yarn and go ahead and finish up this last stitch with our brown. And at this point you can go ahead and fasten off or cut your yarn with the camel because we're not going to need that anymore. So now we are going to be working our decreases, and we are going to do 1 single crochet into our first stitch, and we are going to decrease our next 2 stitches. So that's going to be the repeat pattern. 1 single crochet into your next stitch and decrease your next 2 stitches. Okay, so now you should start getting a little cup and everything should start curling in on itself. And what I like to do is I like to just leave my yarn tails and kind of use that as stuffing. So I just stuff them back in. So for our next round, we are simply going to decrease every single stitch. And I like to give it a little tug just to tighten it up, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And you're just going to repeat that all the way around until you have your original stitch count of 8 single crochets. Okay, so this is our last decrease. So this is our last round. So let's go ahead and slip stitch to our first stitch. Tighten that up, chain 1, and let's go ahead and cut our yarn because we are done. And let's go ahead and remove our stitch marker. Easy peasy. And as you can see, that little bit of yarn from the tails actually does stuff it nicely. So let's go ahead and close up our end here, our hole. Just simple enough. All you are going to do is you're just going to weave it in and out of your stitches. Just going to close this up. And I think we're back around. That looks weird. I might have missed one here. There we go. Okay, and this is what you should have. Okay, now it's time to work on the petals, and that is pretty straightforward-ish. So what I like to do is I like to make a slip knot and put the slip knot on my hook. And now we are going to attach our yellow to our second round of our light colored yarn. So here is our first round of our camel color, or our light brown, and our second round of our light brown. And I just like to go right up in between those 2 rounds. Hopefully you can see that. Just like that. And just work in that little ridge, and I like to make a slip knot right here, or slip stitch. Tighten that up. And now we're ready to start working. So I always chain 1 right here, and then single crochet into that same stitch. And that's all we're going to do all the way around, is we are going to single crochet all the way around for a total of 24 single crochets with the yellow. If you find that your stitch count is off, it could be that maybe you skipped one of the ridges here, or maybe, you know, the stitch count was just off to begin with. No big deal. It's not going to hurt anything really. But if it's way off, you know, you might want to go back and count your stitches. So there's my 24. I know it looks like you need 1 more, but you don't. So now we are just going to slip stitch to our first stitch, tighten up that slip stitch, and now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to place 5 double crochets into that very same stitch. So it's going to be our first stitch. And we're just going to do 5 double crochets. So 1 and 5. And once you get your 5th one, remove your hook from the loop. Leave the loop kind of big, just like that. And we're going to count back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Insert your hook into that first double crochet. Put the loop back on your hook and then swing it around and pull through that first loop. And that is one petal made. And then we're going to chain 2. And in the next stitch, we are going to do exactly the same thing. Remove your hook from the working loop, count back 5 stitches into that first double crochet, place your loop back on your hook, and pull through to create your second petal. Chain 2 and repeat the process all the way around until you have 24 petals, and on the last petal you are not going to be chaining 2, you are simply going to slip stitch to the top of the chain 2 at the beginning. So I'll meet you back there to show you what I mean. Okay, I am about to work my last double crochet. And this last one may be a little difficult to complete, but I promise it will fit right in there once you go back and squish it all together and create that petal. So now all we're going to do is we're going to locate our beginning chain and we're going to count up 2, and in that second chain we are going to slip stitch. And now we're just going to slip stitch, and don't fasten off, because if you are turning this into like a little dangle or something, this is when you would want to add your chain. So what I like to do is just kind of turn my work to where the back is facing up and it's kind of, you know, parallel to me. And then I kind of fold it down and I just slip stitch into that chain 2 onto the back, and then you're going to add another slip stitch. It's kind of hard to get it in there, but you're going to kind of wrap it around that first row right there, if you can kind of see that. And then just slip stitch into that. So now all we're going to do is we're going to chain 8. We are going to slip stitch back into that same stitch at the bottom. And you're just going to wrap it around. There we go. Chain 1 and fasten off. Now all that's left to do is to fix our little flower. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to weave in my ends. I just simply go through the center since we kind of made like a little amigurumi. And we're done! We made a little sunflower, and you can use it as a coaster if you make something smaller like this. This was made with super fine yarn, so you can use crochet thread or something similar weight and it'll come out pretty small. And these were made with worsted. And yeah, they came out super cute. I love them. They're so like puffy and like kind of squishy looking. And really what I'm probably going to do with these is I'm probably going to put them in my car and hang them on, you know, you're probably not supposed to have them, but I like to put stuff on my rear view mirror in the car, so I think that's what I'm going to use these for. And this one I'll probably put like on my bag or something and just clip it on there. It's so cute! Oh my god, okay. I'm just so excited about how cute they came out. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this crochet tutorial. I know I really enjoyed making it. It was so much fun. Let me know the color variations that you guys are going to use, or what are you going to use this for? Are you going to use them for coasters? Are you going to make a keychain? Are you going to make a little dangly thing? I don't know. Let me know what you're going to do with them. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next video. Bye!